So let's dive into what might just be the most recited passage on earth, the first 7 verses of the Quran. This short chapter, it's the absolute foundation of Muslim prayer, and we're going to break down its incredible meaning and its really powerful structure. So what are these 7 short verses really, and what makes them so important? Well, they're not just any prayer. They form a complete, self-contained dialogue that sets up the entire relationship between a person and God, right from the get-go. It's not a story, it's not a list of rules, it's a conversation. In Arabic, the chapter is called al-Fatihah, which means the opening. And honestly, that name is just perfect. You can think of it like the key that unlocks the door to everything that follows. It's the gateway you walk through to enter the world of the Quran. Now, this prayer has a really elegant 3-part structure, and it all starts with praise. The first 4 verses are dedicated entirely to establishing who is being spoken to long before any request is ever made. Let's see how it all unfolds. It all begins right here. The very first line invokes God, but it immediately defines God through these 2 core attributes, grace and mercy. In Arabic, it's Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. See, Ar-Rahman is this vast, all-encompassing grace for absolutely everything in creation, but Ar-Rahim is a more specific, continuous mercy, especially for those who believe. This sets the tone right away. The relationship is being framed not by fear, but by this boundless compassion. And then boom, the camera just zooms way out. We go from the personal attributes of grace to this idea of cosmic sovereignty. But what does Lord of the Worlds actually mean? Well, we're not just talking about our planet. This implies dominion over all realms, all dimensions, all of existence, everything we can see and everything we can't. And then, just in case you missed it, we get this deliberate repetition. Those attributes of grace and mercy, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, they're brought back, but this time with even more emphasis. This isn't just filler language, it's a powerful way of saying, hey, of all the things you need to know about God, remember this. These qualities are absolutely central. So the final verse of praise adds this whole other dimension, accountability. Right alongside universal mercy and sovereignty, you have this idea of ultimate justice. This verse establishes that, yeah, there is a time of reckoning, a day of consequence, and God is the sole authority over it. Okay, so after 4 verses that lay out the nature of God, the prayer makes a huge pivot. This next verse, it's the absolute heart of the chapter. It's the moment the speaker goes from describing God to addressing God directly, and they do it with this incredibly powerful commitment. This line is everything. It's this crucial 2-part declaration. It is you we worship is a statement of exclusive devotion, and upon you we call for help is a statement of exclusive reliance. This is the core agreement of the prayer, where the whole relationship becomes an active pledge. So, you've offered praise, you've made a pledge. What's next? Well, now the prayer moves into its final phase, the request. After establishing the who and the what, we finally get to the why of this conversation, this humble plea. And I want you to really notice what's being asked for here. The request isn't for wealth or power or success in this world. The one single ultimate thing that's asked for is guidance. It's a request for clarity, for clear and right direction in life, all summed up in this one simple phrase, the straight path. But the prayer doesn't just leave the straight path as some vague idea. No way. This final verse actually defines it by contrast. It gets really specific. It asks for the path of those who God has blessed, while also asking to be kept away from the path of those who earned God's anger or who just lost their way. The guidance being sought is specific, and it's defined by the examples of everyone who came before. All right, so we've walked through every single verse. Let's just take a step back and put it all together. When you look at these 7 verses as a whole, what you see is this incredibly elegant and powerful framework. It's like a perfect model for how to pray, and it builds so logically from one step to the next. It really boils down to this simple, beautiful 3-part structure. You start with praise, acknowledging who you're talking to. Then you make a pledge, defining your relationship and your commitment. And only after you've done those 2 things do you make your plea, your request for guidance. Praise, pledge, plea. It's a flow that millions upon millions of people follow in prayer every single day. And that leaves us with this one last, really powerful question. I mean, think about it. Most foundational texts, they start with a creation story or a list of laws. But the Quran, it opens with a prayer. It opens with a dialogue that the believer starts. So, what does it mean for a relationship with the divine to begin not with a command coming down from above, but with a conversation coming up from below? That, right there, is the lasting power of the opening.